to my channel here. I am today presenting to you guys my top 5 metal albums of this year revisited. What does that mean? I want to give you guys 5 albums which I chose over the past years. I listened to them a lot, but you know, they have not been released in this year, instead a few years back. And I want to give you guys some album, maybe some album hints for me personally. Those are album gems, and you know, you also like sometimes have the feeling where you feel like, yeah, I listened to this album, it's not really special, but then you return and you feel like, holy shit, that's such a great album. That's exactly what I want to give you guys here today. I want to present to you 5 albums which I chose for. This is my first album review, or you know, metal album review on this channel. Usually, as you guys know me, I usually upload gaming videos, so please let me know if you guys like the content. If I do shoot more, I thought about doing a you know, top 5 albums this year, or one specific album in general. If you guys like that, please subscribe or let me know in the comments, and yeah, leave a like behind. Yeah, I think we're just gonna start right into it. My top 5. I'm not gonna can call it top 5. Each album has a spot in my heart, and I start first of all with Saor, Roots. Saor, yeah, I am, you know, obviously a huge fan of Scottish nature and culture, and it has a very fascinating history, and I really lovely people, and absolutely beautiful landscapes. And I had to visit Scotland, or I was visiting Scotland last year, and I really felt in love with the countryside. And you know, you kind of Saor, because Saor obviously is a Scottish band, and they it's a one-man project. They do combine history and nature. I hope you guys can kind of see it. Yeah, I heard the album Forgotten Path the first time like 2 years ago. It was released to 2019, and this was like my first hearing of Saor. I also have my Saor shirt on, and I literally felt electricized. I listened to it I don't know, so many times. Forgotten Path, I don't know, I have literally every vinyl of Saor also, so I'm really, you know, I really like that music, especially because, you know, the songs of Saor are usually heavy, melodic, mournful, epic, atmospheric, brutal, and also calm. So you have a lot of atmosphere in these albums of Saor, and I want to give you guys one album which I completely underestimated, and that's Roots. Roots, yeah, was released 2013. Also, for you guys, if you want to know, Saor means actually, or is pronounced Sir, means free in Scottish Gaelic. And yeah, the band was founded by Andy Marshall, who also writes all instruments and vocals. While he's on tour, he also gets obviously support from others. It is the debut album actually of Saor, and yeah, it's kind of setting the tone for later albums, especially combining history and nature. The album mixes atmosphere, folk, and black metal together, which is obviously my personal favorite in general. And yeah, it was released by Fourth Year Productions / Seasons of Mist 2013, and it offers 4 songs with a running time of 51 minutes in total. Yeah, I chose this album because I love, yeah, especially the atmospheric songs with different elements, and topic of the album, which is obviously ancient Scottish history and the combination of nature, which I already told you guys. While I was in Scotland, I read a little bit about the history of Scotland, the Picts, and the fight of independence in the Middle Ages, and so on. So you will have, you know, you will notice that in the Scottish history, Romans tried to invade Scotland. Later, Scotland tried to be free in the Middle Ages from the English. In the end, it did not work. They got invaded several times and were vassals later. Yeah, still today, obviously, the question of independence remains. And yeah, I feel like this album kind of is not getting into that kind of narrative, but you kind of see a connection at some point. So, you know, on the other hand side, with the history, you have the nature, and which I also visited, and I really loved them, was the Hebrides, Loch Ness, Loch Lomond, Isle of Skye, or obviously the Highlands itself, with majestic foggy hills, rustling rivers. And while I was in the Highlands, I listened to literally every Saor album, and I kind of, you know, if you were there, you kind of get the feeling why the album, like, you know, why the album sounds like how it sounds, right? So you literally get the feeling why Saor sounds in this way, in that nature. You kind of see why, or kind of feel why it has to tone like that. Yeah, and I felt, you know, the Highlands might give you a certain feeling of freedom from struggles, obviously, you know, mental or physical or whatever other struggles, political. You can get some lightheartedness, but they remind you also of melancholy and the solitude I felt when I was in the islands. And yeah, I can give you I would definitely recommend it, and I feel like this album actually presents it very, very good. Yeah, offers 4 tracks, and here you guys can see some beautiful Highland picture here, and on the back. Yeah. So if you like Scottish history, especially, but more important, nature, and Scotland itself, and you have a feeling for atmospheric black metal, definitely pick this one. So the next one I want to present to you guys, I have my, you know, some notes here. If you just, you probably already saw that. The next one is Misþyrming, Mistreatment in Icelandic. I actually just discovered this album a few months ago. I actually listened to the 2022 release album Med Hamri, but I did not really connect with it. And then, you know, a few months later I got back to it. I heard Orgia, which is the opening track of Aleimi. I hope I pronounced this correctly. This is the album Aleimi. And yeah, it became one of my favorites of this year. And yeah, especially songs like Iceland Sængelda Krummaskut, Iceland Castrated Dump in English, and Alzaela, Ecstasy, were my favorites. And yeah, I give you guys once again, a short few facts about the album. And the band Misþyrming, yeah, is a Icelandic black metal band, was founded 2013 and has 4 members. Aleimi, is their second full-length album, after their debut with Söngvar Elds og Redu in 2015, and it offers mostly black metal with melodic parts. Aleimi was released in May 2019 by Norma Evangelium Diaboli, and the album includes 8 tracks, with 1 instrumental, and with a total running time of 46 minutes. Aleimi counts towards the very influential Icelandic black metal bands of nowadays. Or, you know, not Aleimi, Misþyrming, but this album definitely. Yeah, when I first heard Orgia, I got blown away. It starts very fast, with drums and guitars and the vocals, which aren't that typical in black metal, I would say. I mean, the vocals. You know, because I feel like the vocals are quite unique, what I would add to their general music. The voice reminds you to the band, you know, the band is a black metal band, but the voice is very, you know, it has sort of a hoarse undertone, which I really enjoyed. And the song blows you away. It is fast, it's brutal, it's aggressive, lifts you up from the ground. And yeah, the fast brutality in the voice and the instruments is connected with the lyrics, which I shortly want to give you guys a quote from Orgia. I'd obviously gonna call it in English, obviously not in Icelandic. The herd battles for its life, like swans against the storm. They endure in believing that they have a choice. So I feel like it's a very fitting to its brutality and very, you know, not pessimistic. It's more like idealizing the certain topics in culture and society. Yeah, I mentioned on Island Stangela Krumaskut, the third song, the drums are slower, but have to me a rhythm which I really like, and the guitars do their very important role on this song. They add various layers of melody and atmosphere to the song. As someone who enjoys more atmospheric parts, this song and the previous one, Misþyrming Lofty, delivers that. And Island Stangela Krumaskut is again more calm, but has beautiful melodic atmospheric guitar parts from around 2 minutes to 30 minutes. And the song includes melancholy, feeling you have when you stand on a cliff and watch into the distance. Remember the picture of Caspar David Friedrich from Romanticism. And especially on this song, I can see the link between text and music very well as well. They sing, gritty lifeless soil, as far as the eye can see. Here nothing will ever prosper or grow. Yeah, it's kind of why the song title is called like that. The text is getting undermined through the music. Not only on this song, the combination of text and music you can also see between the different instruments. I think they fit very well together, creating a unique Icelandic black metal vibe, which the album obviously offers. The album delivers a certain level of coldness in a good way, but it also shows the warmth through the brutality and aggressive parts. It evokes levels of melancholy, aggression and craziness to me as well, because obviously Ecstasy, one of the songs, right, obviously reminds you of that one. Yeah, exactly themes which I would expect from nowadays black metal, and I think they exactly can bring black metal with the heaviness, the melody, mixed with Icelandic melancholy and aggression towards a new unique level of their own. Overall, that is the music I would say I define of the newer black metal waves of today. And yeah, exactly. That's about Roots. Then I was sure to see that I didn't forget anything. Roots, sorry. Allow me. The next one I want to give you guys is Panopticon, and again Into the Light. Oh, it's fine. This album was and is still a strong companion to me. When I discovered Panopticon, I don't know when exactly, I listened to the album Autumn Eternal first, especially a song Into the Northwoods, due to the fact that I really love the season of autumn, which obviously kind of mixes that together in the album. And I'm a big fan of forests because I spend a lot of time walking through our forests here in this nature as well. After a while I heard Rope Burn Exit from And Again Into the Light, which was very brutal. I liked it, but I didn't listen to the album really. I kind of, stopped again. I didn't really connect to the whole album in full. But then in late 2022, I finally listened to the full album after I fell in love with the opening instrumental track And Again Into the Light. It was a huge experience, and in 2023 I listened to it even more and started to love the full experience of the album, because it is an emotional ride. That I can tell you guys. I give you first the short facts about the album once again. First of all, yeah, it is obviously created or was done by Austin Lunn. He's the mastermind behind Panopticon. He's the only member. He's the founding member, obviously, and most of the instrument and vocals were done by him. And he's based in northern Minnesota, USA. Yeah, I would count it as an atmospheric black metal album with folk and bluegrass mixes, because you can definitely also feel some sort of, especially in the opening tracks, some Americana or bluegrass folk vibes. And Again Into the Light is the 9th full-length album of Lunn, and followed after The Scars of Man on the Once Nameless Wilderness, Part 1 and 2. Where the first part was mostly black metal or atmospheric black metal, the second one was completely only country Americana bluegrass. And Again Into the Light was released in May 2021 via Bind Rune Records, and includes 8 songs with a complete running time of 71 minutes. A portion of the profits, which I would mention as well, of the record is donated to people with severe mental illness. Hope you guys can see it. Sort of. Yeah. That's about it. Yeah, As stated on Bandcamp, and I want to quote here, this record is dedicated to all who refuse to give up and continue to struggle for light and beauty in this world. Fill your heart with hope, a hope that will return again into the light. Don't let the fire burn out. Yeah, Lund mentions his own struggles with mental illness, and I really appreciated that he, as a rather independent artist who doesn't earn too much money from his music, unfortunately, gives the money for people in need. I never would have doubted, because his lyrics had often social criticism in also previous albums in it, and always brought social aspects to his music. As someone who dealt and still deals with mental illness, that was one of the main reasons why I love this so much, because I could really feel and understand for myself what it means, and again into the light. The dark days where you just can't live, where you just can't live anymore and feel like, can I fall deeper? I do not even understand myself anymore. What am I person? No one knows how it feels, and you only feel confusion, desperation, resignation, depression, or whatever feeling you have and dealing with. And you ask yourself then, why can I just not be normal or have better days? The days from the childhood, will it at some point even get better? Will I always be this way? Then you only want to feel some hope, and yeah, a hope that will return again into the light, like I said on Bandcamp. In this perspective, I read the album as an emotional voyage which is connected to our inner self, the ups and downs of life, the calm before the storm, impersonated in the instrumental song, and depicting the topic of the album also lyrically, which I quote: endless days turn into night, film rolls, desperate dreams, confusion of images blurred, assorted dealings of a clouded mind, empty nostalgia from a life past, cold embers envious of a glow, faded memories turn to ash, and who I am, I no longer know. This verse also includes the mentioned confusion, which appears during certain state of minds, the nostalgia which reminds you of all of life you once earlier had but feel like you can never have again, the memories which you still remember but do not count in the present of this mental state anymore. And that lyrical voyage continues with every upcoming song, and especially the instruments which are connecting with the lyrics. The instruments offer a wide variety of drums, violins, guitars, which gave a lot of complexity to the already emotional lyrics. The sadness kicking in with the melancholic song, second song, Dead Loons, which is at start very calm, very, slow, but starts to get brewed around 3 or 4 minutes with kicking of the heavy drums. Roadburn Exit, for example, Moth-Eaten Soul offers pure brutality, anger and aggression in emotion, with heavy drums, nice vocals, and obviously cool bells. Or the ending song, The Embers at Dawn or No Hope, with a kind of a realistic but hopeful point of view. Both songs, more than 12 minutes long, also pick up the topic of the album as an emotional voyage. For example, Embers at Dawn starts slow and calm, with clean vocals but unloads an energetic wave of drums, vocals, heavy riffs, emotions, a liberation strike, breaking free of the struggle to see the hope. And also in No Hope, where you can see a link between mental struggles and social political struggles, very well made. I really like that combination, because you kind of, he offers what he also uses, the social criticism together with their own personal mental state, which I really enjoyed. Both songs offers, and that's kind of my quintessence in the end, a view that it can get better, that there is actually hope. You might not see it in the moment, but you just need to continue. I guess the struggle will continue, and yeah, there is no other way. There is literally no other way. And yeah, this is how I sort of read the album for myself personally. Then, the next album which I want to mention to you guys is drum beating. You may already see it from the cover. Wayfarer, A Romance to Violence. Okay, the blur is a little bit. Yeah, kind of looks like this from the inside and from the back. And you might already see it is a Western, American West, inspired album. And that's where we start. Yeah, Wayfarer is a Colorado-based black metal band. Yeah, and they deliver with Romance to Violence, and I quote, searing silver screen requiem for the myth of the West. And yeah, the band describes their album as bold, rhythmic and riff Latin. And I found personally about the album, about, you know, this year, even though I have seen the album earlier before, and yeah, I didn't really listen to it at first. Yeah, why did I, you know, before I say the reason why I chose this album, I want to give you guys some facts about the album itself. Wayfarer is, yeah, a Denver-based 2011 founded American black metal band with 4 members. It is their 3rd full-length album after World's Blood 2018, which offered already aspects of the historical American West. And it was released by Profound Law Records, and the album is a mix between atmospheric, black metal, Americana, and obviously all of the influences of their own sound. It offers 7 tracks, where 1 intro and 2 other instrumentals, Fire and Gold intermission, with a total time of 45 minutes. And how it, you know, and I would also say how Wayfarer describes their Bandcamp. Through 7 harrowing anthems of the high plains, the album paints the poignant exploration of heroes and killers, the setting sun on a romantic era, and the shadow it has cast on the world we live today. And yeah, here we are already in the middle of the topic. The album picks up the myth of the American West, but does not idealize it. So, you know, you definitely not get the feeling of this kind of John Wayne Western from the 50s or 60s. To kind of, you know, pronounce LL, right? Instead, it tries to show the good and the bad, the beautiful and the brutal aspects of this time. Yeah, when I first listened to this song, I can't remember when exactly, I didn't really give the album a try. Even though, as a historian, I studied history, the topic of the American West and the American history itself was already an interest of me. I just stopped and forgot about the album, unfortunately, again. But this year I listened to it and I felt bad for not listening to it earlier, and actually gave it a try. Since then I heard the album, well, a few times, I guess. Yeah, why is it on my list? So first of all, I chose this because obviously I like American history, especially of the American West. Yeah, and this history, and especially the American West history, or the history of the American West, was, you know, kind of played an important role since my childhood. My parents first introduced me to Western movies, obviously at first with John Wayne, and the idealistic picture these 40s and 50s and /60s movies drew. Later I saw the Italian Western movies with the works of Ennio Morricone, Sergio Leone, Gianfranco Paolini, and the great influences of, obviously, for example, Clint Eastwood or Lee Van Cleef productions. In these late 60s and 70s films, the West did not get romanticized at all. You know, the pictures changed from idealized to more realistic / pessimistic / brutal aspects. Yeah, and I began to read about the West as well. Its culture, relationship towards the Native Americans, obviously very important for me as well. I played, obviously, some Western games, for example, Red Dead Redemption 2. I heard Dark Country, Americana and Country itself, read books of McCarthy. And after this process, I obviously had a more realistic picture of the West and was able to saw a glimpse of behind the curtain. Because the first song is also called The Curtains Pull Back. The idealistic romanticized view of the West was pretty short for me. And yeah, that is where this album comes in. It not only offers through black metal a violent world, but also a fascinating, captivating aspect of the American West. With the intro song, The Curtain Pulls Back, the viewers, in this case the listeners, can take a seat and start to watch to listen to the show. Here, sounds of a tag piano, typical Western instrument during that time, typically used in the West during the late 19th century. And yeah, then we're already after this intro we're getting hit by the first song, Crimson Rider, Gallows Frontier Part 2, and Iron Horse, part 1 and part 2, sorry. When I heard Crimson Rider, I instantly fell in love with the parts at around 5 to 6 minutes, where you can hear the Americana dark country vibe or country vibe. Fire and Gold gives you like an intermission, a break of the heaviness between those two other songs I mentioned, and offers more clean vocals, which I enjoy as well. I really like clean vocals. I don't know about you guys, how you feel about clean vocals. Yeah, this song, the song is rather calm and slow. And then, once again, Masquerade of the Gunslinger offers this vibe, more brutality, and then obviously on Vaudeville, the last song, we have a lot of Ennio Morricone vibes, especially towards the end. The word, yeah, Vaudeville, for you guys, if you want to know, is, you know, after a Parisian theatrical genre, which then later in the US also got part, but with obviously their own American influence to it. Yeah, then I want to shortly give you guys some insights about the lyrics, which I want to mention. And yeah, these references from the song Iron Horse or Masquerade of the Gunslinger I enjoyed a lot. But the music is obviously at the center. I would also like to give a shout out to the lyrics here, and they were, you know, not only brutal but also concise, stringing, and not idealistic at all. For example, on the Iron Horse, Gallows Frontier Part 2, I want to give you guys some lyrical background. The ironclad stallion, its pallid complexion concealed, forward all on steel legs run, a new lord lays claim to the land. From bastard god to steam-powered demon, or daemon, the apostles follow in the cavalcade, reavers and riders, hunters and harbingers, the path is struck, extinction begins. Yeah, it refers to the booming industrialization personalized with the railroad, from the Native American often Iron Horse called, obviously that's why the song is called like that, where wealthy landowners and companies do deals and start to bring trains into the West. And this is, you know, a new lord lays claim to the land, obviously, this is the line. It was now no longer the already questionable shit god, how they call it, or I would call it as well, but a steam-powered daemon, the train. Through the railroad, civilization was able to struck its path. That is the common narrative, obviously. But with the nail road, it was obviously able to transfer and migrate the violence fast to other areas, and led ultimately to the extinction of natives, animals, and wildlife. The name Gallows Frontier, the extreme limit of settled land beyond which lies wilderness, especially in reference to the western US before Pacific settlement, makes a lot of sense, obviously, at this point then. Yeah, this alternative way of reading the railroad was needed, and a good way to question the existing narratives of civilization and progress. And that is also why, besides the music themes, I chose this album. Yeah. So you guys can see once again, background, front, here the Iron Horse. Very nice picture. Here we have some typical American hills. I feel like they're in Arizona, right? Yep. And obviously with the style itself, typical 19th century sort of, yeah, it's their own American Western style, right? In Europe we have historicism at this time, or later on Belle Epoque as well. But yeah, they have their own, and I really like that album as well. And then, last but not least, I do not own this one on vinyl, unfortunately. And that is Waldgeflüster Mondschein Sonaten. It's a bit, you can see, yeah, I hope you guys can see the deer head and sort of some misty forests in the back. And here the title, yeah. Yeah, the Bavarian band, or Bavarian-based band, Waldgeflüster. If you guys, you know, just as a reminder, I'm from Switzerland, so I will pronounce it how I will pronounce it in Switzerland. So I will not kind of change the German language here, because they are a German band and they usually, mostly, do it, the music with German lyrics. Yeah, and yeah, I have to say the band Waldgeflüster is definitely one of my top 10 of favorite atmospheric black metal bands of all time. In the midst of the pandemic, I discovered the band with the album Ruinen, which was released in 2016, which I really loved because it covered my personal mental state at that point. I felt connected because it's more dark and pessimistic and melancholic. In 2021, the Horn, you guys, it's Bavarian, so it's kind of, in English it kind of would translate it to homeland, and the Horn got released, which was a fucking fantastic album, and it's atmospheric album mixed with folklore and geography of Bavaria. And yeah, as someone whose roots are also in the mountain, I really loved that album a lot. For example, Mit Blick auf den Kaiser, that was my favorite. So the album Mondscheinsonaten I heard once, but did not really give it a try. Oh, shit. Sorry guys. Oh, no. Okay. You know, give it a try, and I wasn't not able to connect it at this point. In 2023, this album will be definitely one of my most played ones. Yeah, I want to give you guys once again a few short facts about it. Mondscheinsonaten, obviously in English Moonlight Serenade after German composer Beethoven, is a heavy melodic, atmospheric and melancholic black metal album, while it shows their pagan heathen founding aspects. It was released via Nordwest Production in April 2019 and is the fifth full-length album after Ruinen in 2016. The band consists of 5 members, while Jan Winterherz von Berlekom is the founding member. The album Mondscheinsonaten delivers 7 songs and one intro in there and a running time of 56 minutes. Yeah, the album is about the beauty of autumn and winter, how the nature gets transformed through the seasons, or how it Waldgeflüster also mentions it on Bandcamp. The entire album is perfectly pitched to fuel those crystalline winter woodland walks with its immensely infectious melodies and haunting refrains. It's time to dig out the walking boots, grab a compass and a good pair of headphones and head out to experience a little slice of wilderness before it's gone forever. Let Waldgeflüster be your guides. That's a really important part, especially, you know, we need to obviously enjoy nature as long as we still can. Yeah, I did pick that album not only because obviously I like the band in general, I enjoyed this album also that much because of the sheer melodic, melancholic vibe it spreads for me personally. Rot-goldene Novemberwälder reminded me how I need to walk in the woods during autumn again, which I usually do way more in autumn than, for example, in summer or spring. Von Winterwäldern und Mondscheinsonaten continues the started cycle of the album. Winter is here, and the songs literally gives you the feeling to go out and explore the beauty of winter. The 10 minutes song starts with a scheme which returns at the end of the song again. Also, Staub in der Lunge is the ending track, and here the song covers kind of also the end of the year, and also it suggests the struggle of existence and how it just keeps repeating while trying to stay alive. And I want to give you guys once again some lyrical analysis of that one, Staub in der Lunge. Ich hab Wind in den Augen und Staub in der Lunge, mit Ehrfurcht vor der Leere erstarrt. Wie viel Gipfel erklommen, wie viel Monde besungen, wieder fesselt mich des Abgrunds Saat. And in English, obviously, because this is obviously in German, I have wind in my eyes and dust in my lungs, frozen with awe at the emptiness. How many peaks I have climbed, how many moons I have sung about. Again, the seed of the abyss captivates me. Yeah, besides that mentioned examples, I have to highlight the mix between the harsh and clean vocals. There are a lot of clean vocals, which is typical for Waldgeflüster and gives a devotional touch to the songs, like the ones mentioned, or in Und der Wind. And once again, the overall melancholic, melodic and also emotional reminded me of winter, how leaves are falling, the snow is coming to the mountains again, and we as humans are able to explore the nature while we still can, until it obviously gets destroyed. While summer tends to be perceived as a happy and carefree time in the conformist sociocultural perception, that's obviously not for me. Winter tends to be a reclaiming of one's existence. While it is not the case for me, I still feel that winter gives you the time to return to your inner self, retreat in your physical house, but which shall not, physical and actually mental house maybe as well, or hearth, but which shall not hold you back to explore the beauty. And I think that might be something where Waldgeflüster would also agree on. So you kind of see those combinations, and yeah, that's why I chose this album. It offers a lot of beautiful, melancholic, emotional, and vibes, and together with the nature aspects to it. Yeah, these are my 5 albums I want to give you guys, present you guys. The video will maybe a bit longer here. It's my first video. I hope you guys liked it. Please let me know what you think about. Maybe you can tell me what would be your top 5 albums this year. What are your top 5 revisited albums? You know, the albums which you found out about again, how cool they actually are. Earlier ignoring them. And yeah, let me know about the format of this video. I hope you guys like the content. Yeah, leave a comment, subscribe, a like, it would be super cool. And let me know what I can do better, or where I should add more layers to. It's obviously a little bit of a longer video. I hope I will, yeah, next year, I will do this every year now probably. I will make it less long. And yeah, if you guys want to see further formats, for example, I know, just one album in particular detail. I mean, obviously now I couldn't in detail present to you every album. It's just because that would just take too long. If you guys are interested, if I should pick out a few albums here and there, let me know. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. I hope you guys give you guys some hints maybe for, you know, more music you could listen to. And have a good one, guys. Take care, and we'll see us in the next video or on Twitch as well.